Look at what just crossed my desk right now. A 32-year-old lefty, 5 straight seasons with more than 10 wins, ERA consistently below 3.5, and who spent his entire career with the same team. And guess what? The Orioles are about to open their wallet in a way we've never seen before. Man, when I say open their wallet, I'm not talking about 15, 20 million a year. I'm talking about a contract that could get close to $180 million over 6 years. Yeah, you heard that right. And look, I'm going to tell you something. If this move happens, Baltimore isn't just building a competitive team. They're sending a message to the entire American League East. We're not playing around anymore. Stay with me because in a bit, I'm going to show you why this guy might be exactly what's missing or the most expensive mistake in recent Orioles history. We're talking about Framber Valdez, the guy who's been the soul of the Astros rotation for the last 8 years. And look, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, the Orioles already spent $195 million this offseason. They signed Pete Alonso, Ryan Helsley, Zach Eflin. Why the hell do they need to spend another $180 million on a 32-year-old pitcher? That's exactly the question I asked when I first read this. But think with me, the Orioles missed the playoffs last year, missed them, and you know what the biggest problem was? The rotation. They didn't have a true ace. They didn't have that guy you pencil in for game 1 of a playoff series and sleep easy. Shane Baz came from Tampa Bay, but he's still a question mark. Eflin is solid, but he's not a number 1. And that's where Framber Valdez enters the conversation. Let's go. If Framber gets to Baltimore and replicates what he did in 2025, 13 wins, 3.66 ERA, 187 strikeouts in 192 innings, we're talking about a legitimate frontline starter. Put him in the rotation with Baz, Eflin, and the young talent Baltimore has in the system. Man, that's a championship caliber rotation. Literally, the Orioles become instant favorites in the AL East. They jump ahead of the Yankees, go toe-to-toe with the Blue Jays. And there's more. Valdez is a lefty. You know how many elite lefties are available on the market right now? 0. Ranger Suarez already went to Boston for $130 million. Freddie Peralta went to the Mets. Valdez is the last guy available who can change the game. Now let's be realistic. The guy is 32 years old. He'll turn 33 during the season. And we're talking about a 6-year contract. That takes him to 38. How many left-handed pitchers do you know who maintain elite performance after 35? Few. Very few. If Valdez's body starts breaking down in year 2, 3 of this contract, Baltimore is going to be paying $25-30 million a year for a guy who can barely complete 5 innings. That's luxury tax for nothing. That's dead money on the payroll. And there's something else. Mike Elias, the Orioles GM, is in the last year of his contract. This could be a desperation move. An all-in from someone who knows they need results now, or they're getting fired. Okay, let's look at the real numbers. 81 wins and 52 losses in his career. 3.36 ERA in 1,080 innings. 5 straight years with at least 10 wins. The guy is consistent. Ridiculously consistent. 1.24 WHIP in 2025. That's control. That's command. Valdez isn't a power pitcher who depends only on velocity. He's cerebral, uses ball movement, works the corners. The reality, he's probably going to give you 3-4 years of solid production as a number 2, number 3 in the rotation. He won't be the ace who dominates every game, but he'll be that guy who gives you 6 innings, 3 runs allowed, and puts you in position to win. For the price, it's expensive. But in today's market, that's what it costs. And now comes the crazy part. If the Orioles really sign Valdez, they're going to have a stacked rotation. And you know what that means? Somebody becomes a trade chip. What if we were crazy enough to propose this? Baltimore signs Valdez and then calls the White Sox and offers 2 prospects from their top 10 system, plus Dean Kremer or Albert Suarez, to bring back some young talent that could help in the bullpen or on the bench. Or even better, what if they use that pitching depth to go after an even more impactful bat? Like, imagine if they called the Marlins and offered a package centered around young pitchers to bring in an impact outfielder. Look, I know it sounds crazy, but think with me, you don't spend $180 million on Framber Valdez if you're not all in. If you're all in, you go all the way. You don't leave anything on the table. Here's something nobody's talking about enough. Ranger Suarez just signed for $130 million with Boston. $130. Framber Valdez is objectively better than Suarez. More innings pitched, more strikeouts, more consistency. If Suarez was worth 130, Valdez is easily worth 180. Easily, and the Orioles know it. Everyone in the market knows it. That's why Paul Hembekides from ESPN called it. Baltimore is going to be the team that closes with Valdez. And look at the moves they've already made. Pete Alonso for $155 million. Ryan Helsley is closer. Taylor Ward in the outfield. They're building a super team, a roster that can truly compete. Now, the truth that hurts, Mike Elias is in the last year of his contract. Last year. You know what that means? He needs results. Now, he can't sell the future anymore. He can't talk about prospects anymore. The Orioles front office invested in him to rebuild the team, and he rebuilt it. But rebuilding without playoffs means nothing. So yes, signing Valdez for $180 million is a risk. But for Elias, not signing him might be a bigger risk. Because if Baltimore misses the playoffs again in 2026, he's not going to be there in 2027 to see the result. It's an all-in. And I respect that. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The American League East is the most competitive division in baseball. The Yankees will always spin. The Blue Jays have talent. The Red Sox are coming back. If Baltimore signs Valdez, they jump ahead of everyone. Rotation with Valdez, Baz, and Eflin. Lineup with Alonso, Ward, Adley, Rutschman. Bullpen with Helsley closing. Man, that's a 100-win team in the regular season. And more importantly, it's a team that doesn't embarrass itself in the playoffs, because the big criticism of the Orioles in recent years has been exactly that. They get close, but they don't have the pitching to survive a 5-7 game series. With Valdez, they do. Look, I'm going to be real straight with you. I think the Orioles are going to sign Framber Valdez, and I think it's going to be the best move of their offseason. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's risky. But you know what's riskier? Missing the playoffs again after spending almost $200 million on free agents. Now I want to know from you. Do you think Valdez is worth $180 million? Do you think the Orioles should go all in or save money for the future? And the question I really want you to answer, if you were Mike Elias and you knew this was your last year, would you make this bet? Comment down below. I want to debate this with you because this decision will define not just the Orioles' 2026 season, it'll define the entire next decade of the franchise.